So it's very interesting what she said is true. Zen is not about anything special. You're not trying to make yourself into something different. Instead, it's more like a technique to allow you to find out what you really are and how to use what you have to help. So you said, oh, it was just my job to cook dinner. So that's Zen. Whenever you do something, just 100% do it. So in Zen, we call that becoming one. So what are we usually? Usually we're kind of like outside of our mind thinking of something else. So lay people may think, oh, I really can't get anything if I don't become a monk or a nun. That's really bad. Because actually, what life is using what you have to help the world. So there's a story about the Buddha. I think it's made up, but anyway, it's a good story. So after he got enlightenment, he went back home. He went back home to his wife and kid, just to visit them briefly. Mm-hmm. Then his wife looked at him. So, you know, wives are tougher than men, and it's true the Buddha too. So she looked at him. And said, "You didn't have to leave to find your true self." And then suddenly he had a realization, oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't. Yes, that's true. I didn't have to leave to find my true self. Right? People wake up to what they really are in all kinds of circumstances. But also the Buddha is strong, so he said, well, I'm still going to leave and go do what I do to help the world. Today, this teacher came from Germany to visit us here. And he was a monk. And I was thinking, well, wait a minute. If he was from the United States, he would be a layperson. But just about all of our teachers, except one in the United States, is a layperson, not a monk. And his wife and his kid are always hitting him to use something. So it's not about having anything special. It's about how do you use what you already have to help the world. But usually we're adding something to a situation, trying to make it special. So our founding teacher, Zen Master Musangsa, is always saying, Zen is not special. So we talk about blah, blah, blah. We talk about Zen as if it's special, but it's not. That's just to get your attention. We always add something to just about every situation. Mm-hmm. So my car is really nice, my house is really nice, my husband is really bad. Something we want to add to the situation. But actually we should be looking at this situation about how we can use it to help people. So I have a good add something to a situation story. So before he became a teacher, Lin Chi, famous, he used to practice a lot. And one thing he liked to do is sit in a boat and push it out into this slow stream near the temple and sit there in the boat. He was sitting, then he's sitting there when suddenly, boom! Another boat runs into the back of his boat. Then inside he got really angry. So he's sitting there meditating and suddenly he's very angry. So he turns around and is going to yell at the person in the boat behind him that hit him. But the boat was empty. Yeah, so it was just another boat that had gotten loose somehow and was floating down the river and ran into the back of his boat. Then he thought, you idiot, there's nobody there. Instead, he got really angry. He thought, oh, I'm never going to get angry again. It's just cause and effect. So this happens to all of us all the time. We're doing something and somebody does something to make us angry. Or somebody does something to make us want something. But he was practicing meditation and he got really angry. So that woke him up. Just briefly, but woke him up. So that kind of stuff happens to us all the time. So you go home and it's time to cook dinner. It's not good, it's not bad. That's just your job in this moment. So that's why in Zen we always teach just do it. So that's the way Zen Master Sung San translated the Chinese words Wu Wei. I don't know about in Korean, but in English, no way would mean like nothing, but it doesn't mean that. It actually means no attachment to the result. So usually we're attached to the results of our actions. There's something back behind being attached. There's something more than being attached to your actions. Before that is your clear mind. We call it your true self. So he's sitting in the boat. When he's sitting in the boat, that's his clear mind. But then he gets really angry. That's the suffering mind. So we have that moment to moment in our lives. So it's really important to realize that there's something before this like and dislike mind. And before is seeing the situation clearly. So, you know, in our school we teach three things. One is the true self, the original thing, which is Buddha nature. Then if you keep that mind, then everything becomes the truth. Everything becomes clear. This mat is gray, this mat is gold, that mat is gray. So that's very clear. Then how do you use that to help the world? So we call those three things substance, that's your Buddha nature, truth, and function. So the Lin Chi story has substance, it has truth, but it doesn't have function. But good Zen stories have those three things. It's okay. There's different kinds of Zen stories. You don't have to think about them as being incomplete. You just think about them as being different kinds of stories. So this is a truth story, right? So the truth was the boat was empty, or Buddha saw a star. So that's a truth story. And then when he saw the star, he realized what he really was. So that makes it a truth story and a substance story together. And then when he gets up to help the world, then that is function. Okay? All a Zen teacher does is sit around and repeat stories about substance, truth, and function. You don't have to be very smart. Everything is about seeing clearly and knowing what to do.